We cannot hear you, Ana. Well, thank you everybody for joining us today. This is for Mi Familia Vota. We are very proud to have worked together with this many people that are helping us to send the message very clear to our community. The participation in the civic life is a key for us, not only to make our voices heard, but to ensure that we are going to elect candidates that are going to properly represent our community and making our voices heard. I'm very proud to have the support of this many people around us. I will not introduce in a minute. My name is Ben Monterroso. I'm the Executive Director of Mi Familia Vota. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Mi Familia Vota is an organization that is committed to build political power. This project to get together Latinos who are from independents to unaffiliated to Republicans to Democrats is in a way to trying to let our community know that the civic life of this country really matters for us. I'm very proud to say that we have 6 videos. Those videos are going to be released one at a time. But let me just tell you who that we have in those videos. We have in one of the videos we have a Republican commentator and former GOP presidential nominee advisor, Ana Navarro, a director and entrepreneur, Emilio Estefan, who is passionate, non-affiliated. We also have a Democratic Congressman, Luis Gutierrez from Illinois, with a former Treasurer, Rosario Marin, who served in under the President George W. Bush, non-affiliated voter, an independent film producer and actor, Edward James Olmos, and our friend, Diane Guerrero of Orange is the New Black, and Jane the Virgin, and as I said, is a partner of Mi Familia Vota, and a Democratic commentator, Maria Cardona, who might be joining us in a minute, has some technical difficulties, and Luis Alvarado. Another video that we did was from the consultants that helped make this happen. And I just want to thank Cesar, who is the brain behind this project, and the great support of GB. Cesar Martinez is a media strategist, and GB is no relation to Cesar, is someone who works with a lot of progressive groups. I just want to say before we can get this moving, to say that this to us is very important. In this election, we're not only electing who's going to be the president, but what kind of country we want to be living in. And the Latino community has in our hands the future not only of our families, our community, but our country. So with that, I think that at this point, Ana was going to help us to conduct this, but unfortunately with technical difficulties, I'm struggling here. So Jimmy, can I have you to lead the conversation, since you've been one of the key partners on this?
Sure, Ben. Thanks a lot. And hopefully Ana can join us soon. I think first of all, what we want to do is go to our very special friends who helped us with this project. And I'd like to begin with Diane Guerrero. Diane is going to be a little bit short on time, so we want to hear from her first. As Ben said, she is a partner with MFV, but she is also obviously a very accomplished actress and author. Her book, In the Country We Love, has been a real inspiration to especially young people and the millennials. And so I would love for Diane to tell us a little bit about why she joined this project. Diane?
Well, I just think, thank you so much for having me a part of this conversation. I really appreciate it to be amongst such a great group of people. I was really interested in the project because I think so far what I've coming on to this movement, I haven't wanted to, necessarily be a part of or represent any one candidate, because I know that as a community, we're already so divided in a lot of ways, and a lot of people have been able to prey on those divisions. As far as connecting with young people recently with my book has been such a eye-opening experience, because a lot of them feel that just the act of voting or participation in politics doesn't really include them. And with sharing my very personal story with immigration and my personal journey has been very helpful. So being a part of this project in particular, saying, look, I'm not telling you who to vote for. I'm not telling you that I'm part of any party in particular. I'm just telling you that it's important for you to vote. It's important that your voice is heard. And this is an opportunity for us to really come together as a community and make things happen for ourselves and elect people that are going to represent us. And I guess just the way I've been doing that is just by kind of really just being myself and saying, putting myself in their shoes and saying, I didn't really know that I had this power, that I had a political muscle to flex necessarily. And it's been really helpful because I've gotten so much feedback from people who thought that their voices also didn't matter and that they didn't have any experience or were studied or learned it enough. And it's worked out really well, just sharing my personal story to say, like, look, I've gone through all of this, but recently I have seen a door and a window of opportunity to participate, and it's changed my life. It's changed my life for the better. I have gained some consciousness about who I am and the person that I want to be, and I don't feel as much in limbo as I used to, and I feel like I can really make a difference, and I feel like I'm really getting through to some folks.
Thanks, Diane, and hopefully the kids out there who are going to be voting for the first time or who haven't voted yet will be inspired to come out and vote. So thank you very much for your words.
Voting is cool. That's what I'm
Voting is cool. Okay, next we're going to go to, I guess we'll go to Maria and Luis. Maria first. But one thing to point out is that both of them are in a video together. And it was a wonderful match because they are often on opposite sides of each other on television but came together for this project. So Maria, do you want to begin? And then Luis pick up after where she drops off. Thank you.
Sure. First, I'd like to thank Ben and Mi Familia Vota for embarking on this incredibly important project. And everybody who collaborated, Cesar, Luis, thank you for reaching out and inviting me to do this. And I think it really shows that for this one critical, important election year and for this one critical, important act of voting, we are all united. Every single Latino is on this same page. Our community has gone through so much, to Diana's point, that we have to rise up and speak in one voice. That doesn't mean that we all have to vote for the same person or the same party or even the same issue. But what it does mean is that we have to vote, because until we are able to show up in the numbers that we actually represent in this country, politicians, political parties, candidates, and the leaders who implement policy are not going to take us seriously. And while we always hear that Latinos are showing up at the polls in record numbers, and that's true, in 2012 was one such year. And certainly President Obama would not have been reelected had it not been for the overwhelming support he got from Latinos. But even then, our numbers did not exceed 50% in terms of voter participation. 50%. We were below the 50% mark in terms of the numbers of eligible voters, Latino voters, that could go to the polls to vote. That, to me, is a wake-up call, a challenge, but it's also an opportunity for our community to show that we can show up in the record numbers that we represent in this country. And let's try to do that this election year by talking to everybody we know, our friends, our comadres, our amigos, everybody that surrounds us, and let them know why this is important. Let them know why their vote actually really does count. Let them know that this is something that can change their life for the better, but that their voice is really critical if we're going to do that. And I also felt it important to do this with Luis, because we are very often on the opposite side of the issues that we're discussing on television. But again, that doesn't matter, because What we need to do is to make sure that we go in, we pull that lever, or we fill out the ballot and ensure that our voice is being reunited with the rest of the Latino community and frankly the rest of the country, of which we are an incredibly important part of, to make sure that our voice is heard.
Oh, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Well, Maria Cardona, once again, you took all my talking points. It's exactly what I was going to say.
As always.
But the reality is that although most of us that do work in this environment are very amped up because we see the energy and the choices that we have in front of us, the reality is that when I go on radio shows and we take listener calls, I still see that there's a little bit of apathy out there. I still see what the challenge is, that some people just feel that the only thing that drives them to the polls is the two candidates that are vying at the top of the ticket, when in reality, here in California, our booklet is going to be 224 pages of things that we need to consider to vote for, propositions, other candidates, do we tax ourselves as a municipality? And those are all very important things that we, as a Latino community, also have a responsibility to stand up and be informed. And that is one of the things that I really want our community to do, is to be elevated so we can also stop being a target of just rhetoric type campaigning and messaging that makes campaigns think that we just jump when we're angry. And the reality is that we care and we love for our future generations. We want our children to grow up in a country and be participants and be respected. But to do that, we have to make sure that we also contribute, that we also take our place in this country as stakeholders that believe that this country works for us and that we should be part of the ones that are guiding us, that we should be stewards to what future lies in front of us. So on that sense, I feel that all of us who works in this project, those are the things we aspire, that our Latino community feels the pride when after election day that we were the ones who actually managed and directed and actually decided for ourselves that our family was going to vote because we care for the interest of our family, and that we need to stand up and take responsibility. And if we find people in our local communities and our families that are lost, are angry, that we also reach out to them, even if it's at a carne asada on a Sunday, and say, hey, everybody's going to vote, right? Because you got to vote. And if somebody says, no, I'm not voting because X and Y and Z, then you have a little intervention and you let them know why it is that it's so important. You know, it has to be a community event, and we have to make sure that all our communities, regardless of our party affiliation, regardless of our geographic destinations, we all have to ensure that we have one common goal in mind, and that is that we have to elevate our community together.
That's great, Luis. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. Finally, we're going to go to Cesar Martinez, who is the producer and director of this fabulous project. It was really his idea, and he brought it to life, and we want to thank him so much for this. Cesar, would you like to go ahead, please?
Can I, Jimmy, I need to say it because, I mean, Cesar, this is not the first time that Cesar has been helping me, Familia Vota, in the community. Understands that sometimes, as Maria said, some of the issues may not be the same way that I, Ben Monterroso, would like to see it, but I want to thank you for not only being the brain of this, but also doing everything you could to make sure that this become a reality, going from one city to another and all of that. So I really, really, really appreciate it.
Muchas gracias, Ben. Again, thanks, everybody, and thanks, Jimmy Martinez, and thanks, Maria and Diane and Luis and Anna and everybody that was involved in this project. You know what happened? It's really, what it made a big difference is that we needed to participate in a way that can make it a participation, a constant participation, because we see, as Luis was mentioning, that we kind of get dormant and we don't participate. What happened, I mean, I've been working on this since 2000, when I started with Lionel Sosa, my mentor. We were working with George W. Bush in Philadelphia, the first opening event of the convention, the Bienvenido a un Nuevo Día in Philadelphia. This was big, and it has changed. I mean, I've produced gazillions of ads and lots for these campaigns. And I see the tone used to be that during the primaries you had this tone, but now it's extending into the general election. So that's why we need to participate. And I said we need to not stay with our arms crossed. And also, two things that made me think about this campaign. One, I was in Europe when the Brexit happened. When the British decided to leave the European Union, you know what happened? The next day, people realized, what we just did. It's like, guess what? People that wanted to do the Brexit voted, and people that didn't. So that's as easy as that, participation. So that's why we want to bring this to you and make people participate. And it's not about telling us, the last participants, all of them said, not whom to vote for or what to vote for or against whom. It's about participation. And as Diane mentioned in one of her videos, she said, like, if you don't vote, you might regret what we get. And I would say in Spanish, si no votamos, no nos podemos quejar. We cannot complain if we don't participate. So once again, thanks to everybody to participate on this. And I would urge anybody out there, just go register and vote. Muchas gracias.
Thanks, Cesar. And I just want to mention that unfortunately, Emilio and Ana couldn't be with us, and Eddie almost had a last-minute change in his schedule. We were hoping to get Congressman Gutierrez, but he's stuck in a committee hearing, and I say stuck because I've been in them, and you know, they can be kind of long and tedious, but that's his job. So he needs to be there. I don't know if we're going to have the capacity to take questions because I am handling this remotely. I think the people at MFV had some issues with the program. So let me just say this, if we can't take questions, just to sort of recap. This is a bilingual campaign, and there are 5 videos. They are going to be all posted as this ends. You will be able to go to mfv.org, Mi Familia Vota, excuse me, mifamiliavota.org, and click and see all of the videos. We will be pushing them out on social media each week between now and the election. And then we have one more video that we will end with that has not yet been produced that involves all of the participants in this campaign. And we also want to just stress this. This is unusual. All of us who participated in this had trouble remembering when Democrats and Republicans and unaffiliateds came together to do this kind of a campaign in an election season. Usually it's each party trying to get their own stake of the Latino vote. And here we have everyone saying that we need to vote for unity and set aside division. And it's the right thing for Latinos to do. It's for our community and it's for our families and it's for our pride. So with that, I just want to ask anyone else here if you'll have anything to say. Ben, do you know if we'll be able to take questions?
No, I just was texting Ana, who unfortunately is not going to be able to take some questions. But I just want you to know that we have at least 2 or 3 media outlets there that I'm aware of. It's MSNBC, AP, Washington Post, and a few others. Definitely, we're going to make ourselves available to them. But I just want to say something here in terms of like, Mi Familia Vota has been in existence for over 20 years. And Jimmy, you're right. Getting our community together is our job. We normally, all this 20 years is about getting to vote and getting to participate. We have very few short days for those of you who are not yet registered to register. Part of the problem that we have is a lot of people who are eligible to be voters, they're not registering themselves. Now, the last part that I will say is, it's in our hands. It's our future. It's our families. And the way that I would say it is, if you don't vote, you are part of the problem and you're not being part of the solution. If you have the ability to vote, if you have the right to vote, but if you're not doing it, you're not helping the community, and we need your help. So I'm very proud to say that we have gained voter registrations in many states that we work in. We have had more people becoming citizens this time than ever before. And the most important to me is that we have a lot more young adults helping us to get the people out to vote. So I just want to thank all of you. This is unique. Luis, I know that I have seen you from time to time in Los Angeles. Maria también. Diane, ¿qué te puedo decir? Thank you very much. You've always been there, trooper, for us. And we keep it going. And, you know, I talked to Mr. Almost just yesterday, and he's not able to do it, but I just want you to know that he's going to be working. He's going to be in Arizona this coming Monday and Tuesday to watch the debate with our community. And the Tuesday, he's going to go out and do voter registration, the voter registration day. So he's already, he didn't join us here, but he'll be in Phoenix this coming Tuesday, this coming Monday and Tuesday. So I just want to thank all of you for all the great work. Cesar and GV, thank you for putting all of this together. I know that our relationship helps, but I really appreciate it. So, GV, do you have anything else?
Well, I wanted to see if any of the other speakers had anything else to say before we finish.
I would just say, let's get out there and let's get everybody to go to the polls and vote. And I think that this needs to be something that we put our minds to, that we put our heads to, that we make it a goal, that we talk to 10 people every single day. And then between now and election day, look at what the early vote is in some of the key battleground states. Let's make sure that we have that information at the ready to tell our family and friends. This is something that we have to be relentless at, because people cannot take this for granted. Our community cannot take this for granted. Ben is absolutely right. If we don't show up in the numbers that we represent in this country, that's on us. That is not anybody else's fault but our own. So we need to take ownership of it. We need to own our own power and demonstrate it this election cycle.
Yeah, and I wanted to just say that this is just looking at our history, looking at the times that we're in. This is your opportunity to really, really make a difference. This is our opportunity. We have to see everything that's going around. I know that I'm not happy with what I've been seeing. There's so much trouble in our country, in our world, and I think this is a great opportunity to be a part of history and to start that great trajectory of being a part of this, of really, really being a part of this great nation. I know many times we felt maybe ousted or like an outsider, but we're not. We're very much a part of what this country is, and we need to represent. So get out there and vote.
Well, I'll be very short. The reality is our main block, our main enemy is apathy. And we need to find a way to defeat apathy. And when I was growing up, I was taught that you never talk about politics, you never talk about religion. Well, I'm here to tell you that we need to change that, because the reality is we need to talk about politics. So you're on your own if you want to talk about religion, but when it comes to politics, we have a responsibility, especially with our young ones. It starts in our familia. It starts in our family. Yep. Sometimes what I hear is people who are activists and they really want to participate, and I ask them, well, you got kids, right? Yeah, I have an 18 and I have a 22-year-old. Are they voting? Are they registered to vote? Well, I don't know.
Right.
You know, so it starts at home.
That is you, right? Because your camera went off. I don't know if you clicked your camera. Yeah, there you go. Or almost.
Oh, here I am.
But good. But make sure.
So apathy is what we have to fight. We have to break some old traditions, like we don't talk about politics, and we have to start at home, especially talking to those loved ones, like even our grandpas, our brothers and sisters, even the crazy uncle. We got to talk to him. So get them all to register. Make sure they're registered. You know, if you can, register absentee ballot. So you have plenty of time and you don't have a last second mishap that doesn't let you go vote. Register absentee and then educate yourself, elevate yourself. And then when you elevate yourself, you elevate the community. And that's what I hope that we all are fighting for here.
And let me add into what Luis is saying. Here's a reality also. We're the largest minority of this country. With numbers comes responsibility. So our responsibility is to participate. We just cannot sit down. I mean, we're a big part of the future of this country, 50% of the population growth. So it's not only a Latino issue, it's an American issue. So I urge you definitely that we all need to participate.
Okay, great. Cesar. Well, I think that does it, folks. And again, our deepest apologies for the technical issues we were having today, but please contact me and we will set you up with interviews as quickly as possible. The email is for Ana Castro. It's Ana, ANNAC, at mifamiliavota.org. If you could please contact her, and then she can get us connected to you all, that would be great. Thanks again so much for joining us, and have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
My heart. You're great. I really thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.